Imagine if your wife didn't believe in you. No one wants to hear it, but this is true. They get out of shape and they lose attraction and they go cheat on each other. This is the reality of it. If you're married or you're in a relationship, it is the superpower in your life that's going to propel you to the next level, or it will cut your knees off. Have you ever felt like your relationship is just stagnant and you're not growing together as a couple, and how this might be affecting you personally and in your business? Maybe your passion is gone. Maybe you guys aren't as close to each other as you once was, and probably it's affecting your health. Maybe it's affecting even your relationship with your kids. So I'm going to be sharing some experiences that I have been through over the past 16 years, and also I'm going to explain what I had to do as a man to change in order for my relationship to get back on track, as well as my business to start flourishing. So stay tuned and watch this video to the end. Now let's get into it. So when I met Allie, she was 21 years old. So this was what, I was 35, she's 21, I'm 50 today. So that's what, 15 years ago that we met, right? We met at the gym, right? Shocker. At the time, she worked at Home Depot at night and she ran a gym. She was a manager of a gym, LA Fitness in Charlotte. You know, at the time, she had just got out of a relationship. She was actually married too, but she was in a previous relationship when she came from Ohio to Charlotte. And I also was in a previous relationship for I don't know, probably 10 years with this one girl. Totally different from Allie, like more of a, she was from New York, she was an alpha. Great person, but we just didn't click, you know, personality-wise, because I'm an alpha and it's like, you're just beating heads all day. So that didn't work, and I met Allie, I was like 35 years old, and I never had a best friend until I met her, like ever. And the reason I knew is because I met her and I knew the difference. And I had a couple people I was good friends with, but like a best friend is when I met her. Like, we become best friends, and someone I could just talk to about anything, even outside of business, which is very difficult for me. But we would just have, like the first night she came over, like we talked for like, I don't know, 12 hours straight. Like we just connected and hit it off, right? And it's like you developed a friendship that then turned into obviously a relationship. But her mom left her, you know, as a kid. So, you know, now it's her stepmom and her dad. And then obviously me growing up with, you know, my dad being in and out and just not being a good role model for his kids. You know, at the time too, she was, I don't know how long it was after we met. It wasn't too long that she left the gym and started working for me in my business. And she was in the accounting department. Had no skills in accounting, but she learned, and we worked together. We used to travel together, you know, when we were growing in the different locations in different states, and we would travel to Pennsylvania and New York and all these different places, setting up shops and living out of hotels. And it was a ton of fun because you're traveling with your best friend. And so that we were building the business, having some fun. And then, you know what? Now we've been married 9 years, got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. So now she doesn't work in the business. You know, she hasn't worked in the flooring business in a while, but whereas the other one didn't, right? So we were able to make that dynamic work inside the business. We've lived a life that neither one of us would have really imagined. If we were both to die today, you know, when she was 21 or when I was 21, like I would not think I would be where I'm at today and have done the things that I've actually done, even though there's so much more that, you know, we want to accomplish and places we want to go. Like, I've been to more places than most people will probably go in their entire life. We've been blessed to be able to travel and do things because of the work we put into the flooring business. The biggest thing that we've done over the past, you know, 2 years has really been growing together as a couple, like individually, and also our relationship together, our relationship with our kids, like being more intentional about certain things, being more aware of things we want and things we don't want. Like, I'm more clear today at 50 years old than I ever have been, as I should be at 50, right? But like the last 2 years, I've really got clarity on, you know, who I am as a person, what do I stand for, you know, what's important to me, what's not important to me, because what's important to you at 19 or 20 or 30 is not the same things that is important to you at 50. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt this video, but I cannot stress this enough. If you're tired of staying the same and you're ready to change your life forever, I want you to do one thing right now. Text the number below. When you text me, I'll reach out to you personally and I'll show you exactly how to build the man that you're meant to be. It's time to take action now. Text the number below and I'll personally reach out within 24 hours. Now let's get back to the video. Taking it back to when she was 21, I was 35, there was obviously a disconnect in maturity. Although the attraction was there and all those things, right? And you're having fun, you're working out, you're riding motorcycles, you're doing all these fun things, you know, and it was super cool that I had a 21-year-old girlfriend. Like, that was pretty cool. Like, everybody just like wanted to high five me, you know, but we struggled a lot with communication and like expectations and just me being on one wavelength and her on another because she was so young and she never had that influence around her. It was hard at first to have certain conversations, business, life, because you haven't been here that long. So I remember that being very difficult, and it did cause some problems in the relationship to where we, a couple times we would split up and then we would get back together and whatnot. But it was just because there was a big disconnect. And a lot of it had to do, though, I was going to a lot of events and traveling a lot, going to self-development stuff, and I was self-developing like a maniac, as I always have. And then she would not be with me, and then so it's like we were growing further and further apart. And that's really, like, when I reflect back at why we were having the problems we were having, it wasn't anything crazy, like, no one was cheating on each other or anything. We didn't have those kind of problems. It would be other dumb stuff because there was just a disconnect mentally, how you're thinking, and sometimes you couldn't have a certain conversation because they just wouldn't understand it because they'd never been through it. But as we started to grow together, and I'm the leader, right, and she sees that I'm self-developing, and then she starts to self-develop, she starts to get around some different people, and we start to grow together, which is now we're together all the time growing, which is the key. It's like, if you're not gonna be together and doing the things that you're doing, you're not gonna grow close together. I'm not saying you won't have a relationship, but that's just what it would be, just kind of bland. Now we do everything together, we're growing together, as a couple. She's at a different pace going than I am. That doesn't matter. The point is like, we're aligned, we're both growing. She takes care of the home and the kids and the family part, and I take care of the other part. That's the dynamic we have, and it works great, and we get to be around each other a lot. But we did have struggles because of that. Because we were just the gap in age. If you're married or you're in a relationship, it is the superpower in your life that's gonna propel you to the next level, or it will cut your knees off. Like, literally one of the two. Like, you'll be with someone, they'll either cut you off and bring you down, or they're gonna propel you up to the next level, which is what good women do, and a good relationship does for a man, is like, it just makes them better. It wants them to strive more. It wants them to take care of her better. It wants them to do all the things for them because they're the right person. They have that kind of relationship. And so, to me, there's nothing wrong with being single, right? If you're single at 35 and the time's not right. Like, I understand that if you're in the middle building your business. Like, I'm not, like, that's how I did. I was single and built my business. But once you find the right person, it will be like the thing that takes you from here to here. If it's the right person, if you're aligned with values and where you're going and what you want for your family and what your core values are, like, you got to be aligned in those things. So if someone's like looking to get in a relationship or whatever, like, you need to understand like what that blueprint looks like for who you want to be with. Like, you literally should know what it is on paper, because if not, you'll go in it for the wrong reason because they look good, and then you find out like, well, yeah, they look good, but like everything else is like jacked up. It doesn't work, right? And most people don't go into a relationship, and I didn't either at the time. It's like, okay, what do you want out of life? What are your core values? Like, what do you stand for? Like, what's the thing that keeps you up at night? What's your why in life? Like, we should ask these questions, especially when we're in our 30s. And if we haven't, we should do that with our wife, because that's how you'll get on track and you'll have an amazing relationship, because now you're aligned in the same thing that we're doing. Most people are not aligned with what they're doing. They don't have a mission. They honestly don't, and they definitely don't have core values. When you set the standard as a man, like, you set it for everybody below you. And that's not demeaning, but like, the man should set the standard. If I was fat, do you think she'd be in shape? Probably not. She knows my standard's like way high. Like, my standard's so high it's uncomfortable, and I love it. That's why I'm not around a lot of people, because a lot of people aren't going to be around me for very long. That's why I couldn't even have a lot of girlfriends, because I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm out. I think uncomfortable is good, because I'm trying to do things right. So if I'm pushing you to be better, if I'm pushing you to be better and I'm annoying you because I'm telling you something and you don't like it or whatever, but I'm pushing you. And so if you can do that, but it's in the right way, everybody just gets better. That's where growth happens. Me having a very high standard I've watched her grow so much, more than me, honestly, because she had so much room to grow, and just watching her grow and develop and become who she is today, and she's only 36 years old, is like amazing. But I do have high standards. I do. In every aspect, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's why I'm creating the life that I want. People that don't have high standards, man. Show me one person that doesn't have high standards that has the life he wants. There's not. Anybody, it's, you got to be a little crazy. I'm a little obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm a little crazy. Most people don't have that, and that's why they get out of shape and they lose attraction. And they go cheat on each other. This is the reality of it. No one wants to hear it, but this is true. The reason people are splitting up and cheating on each other because there's no passion together. There's no mission together. And then you're both working your jobs and you see each other at night and you're sleeping in different rooms. Okay, that's a great marriage. It's not going to work. That's why the divorce rate's over 50%. And so it's very basic things that you can do to get your relationship back on track if you really understand that. And you're being intentional with it. And it can be a lot of fun. Like, I feel like our relationship is better today than it was when we first met. Like, honestly, like, there's nothing we don't do that we didn't do when we're 21. I'm gonna do it when I'm 80. And I know you're getting a visual right now, but like, I'm gonna be, whatever it is, I'm gonna be doing it. You're gonna be with a cane, I don't care, I'm doing it. But it's true. Like, you shouldn't lose that. Yeah. You shouldn't lose that fire. Most people lose it, man. And then it's not fun. Like, what fun would that be? To be with someone and they're boring as shit. No, you wouldn't. You won't either. Having the right person that believes in you is the key for you flying. Imagine if your wife didn't believe in you. And there's people out there that are struggling like that because they don't believe in them. And maybe it's because you haven't set the right standard. Maybe because you've been sloppy. Maybe because you haven't been taking care of your finances. Maybe you haven't been a go-getter. Maybe you don't set goals. Maybe you watch TV every night and sit on the couch and expect her to do everything for you. I don't know. Like, that's not a good man though. That's not a man for me. I would say too, like, having the right woman in your side, like, you know, obviously what we're doing is about build the man, the ultimate man. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not be the man I am today if it wasn't for Allie, period. Like, I am not me if she's not in my corner. So everything that I'm doing now is because for her and my kids, right? But she leads the ship from that standpoint. So you want to become the ultimate man. You want to rebuild yourself. Like, then you have to rebuild your relationship. Your relationship needs to be priority for you. Like, it must be priority for you to exceed and excel in every aspect of life. Like, it's just that, and then taking care of your body. Leading by example, setting the example, getting your, you know, a lot of people say, my wife won't work out. Well, like, set an example. Like, she will eventually. If it's important to you and she sees this is what the standard is, the woman will follow. There's a lot of people I know that they're saying the woman won't. Well, it's because you haven't been leading long enough. It's your job to pull them up. It's not their job to pull you up. It's really not. If there's a situation and the other one is just not playing out and you're just totally going in different directions because people's minds change or whatever, their mindset, their belief system, whatever, because that happens, their identity changes to something else, and now all of a sudden they're doing drugs or whatever, and it's harmful for you and your family, then I think you need to make a decision and you move on. I don't believe in staying in something, like I said, there's a fine line of what, you know, like, depending on the situation. Like, I think most situations, if you love each other, you can work them out if you have faith. You're just misaligned. But if you're not married and like you're misaligned, or you're doing things, you cheat and you're doing drugs and you're like hurting your family, then I think you have to, as a person, make the decision to move yourself out of the environment. Like my mom should have left my dad like forever ago because he just wasn't the right person for her or for us as a family, but she kept trying to make it work, and all it did was make her life miserable now. Well, then and now, right? Because she just did everything wrong because he was a leader and he was a terrible leader. Like, it made me who I am today, and I appreciate that, but the truth is, he was not a good leader, he was not a good husband, and he was not a good dad. But she continued to try to make it work, and all it did was harm her and her kids. That scarred them for the rest of their life. That's the reality of it. So I don't believe in staying in situations like that where people are doing harm to themselves and they're doing harm to you, because you can't control other people. You can try to make amends and do the right things, but like when you're totally off in alignment and it's hurting your family, you got to leave. You got to get out. Doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means we can't be close. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you got value from this video, make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you would like to know about me and what value I could add for you. Please leave it in the comments. Tell me why you